morning and welcome to Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television. My name is Miracle Odunayo.
And yes, my name is Odunayo. Welcome once again to Daybreak Africa on our studio in Ondo State, which happens to be the sunshine state of the nation. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Carol.
Good
like
morning.
The Yorubas will say, yeah, good morning. But then it's a new week again. New time, new place, new month.
It's not the. I was in a new place.
For me, like a new place mentally.
Okay.
You know,
it's the same sets.
The
same chair.
But then, look. Let me tell you something.
You want to come with your
usual nuggets, actually.
Okay.
The same man you saw last week.
It's different from the same.
It's different
man.
from the person that you see this week.
Okay, but not physically.
In fact, the same person that you saw step into a river is different from the person you saw come out of the river. Something has shifted mentally. You don't just know.
Right on, sir.
No, you see, the truth is, there was a time in my life I used to be afraid of heights. And all that.
I'm still very, very afraid of heights.
Until a particular time I went for an excursion, and I would advise you go, in case you are still afraid. So that excursion took me to Indore Hills in Ondo. Ondo State is blessed. So when I went to Indore Hills, and I was looking at the top, before that time...
Just don't say it.
No, I'll say it. I'll help you to deal with your fears. No, because I was at Ikogosi, Erin Jesha. Like a day before the waterfall. Okay. And some of my friends went the 7th step at Erin Jesha. But because of the fact that I was joking all through and playing, I just stayed at step 2. Like the second this thing, just enjoying the fall there and all those. But there they went higher, went to the 7th, and even got to a point that they saw another hill that was higher, still climbed to that top and got into another town, Inekiti. And I'm like, oh, you guys did well. And they took my clothes there.
So you had to wait for them?
I had to wait for them to come down. They took 2-3 hours before they could come down. And I told myself I missed that whole journey because they were telling me the whole story. And I was like, maybe the thing that I should enjoy most about life is at the other side of my fears. So when I got to Idori, I said, okay.
Let me give it a try.
Let me give it a try. And you know, the thing was that the minute I looked up and said, let me give it a try, my mind was already coming with
the fear.
You will not get to the top, or you will jump down, or you do this. And I said, before that fear will stop me from going up, I will run to the fear. And you know what I did? I ran, climbed the steps, running.
Wow.
I saw people sitting on the side. I'm tired. I kept running because I know if I stopped.
And you look back.
I didn't look back.
If you try.
I intentionally did not look back because I knew if I looked back, I want to go back. I just ran. And when I got to, because that was the step we got was 660 something steps also. It was when I got to the 600 step, I was like, hey, guy.
How you go come down?
How you go come down? But then, I saw my friends taking selfie at the top and I said, hey, you've come this far. Let's go. So I just climbed it and I got to that final step. And when I got to the final step, I told myself, you've done it.
Did you feel like you want to fall down? Your legs were not shaking?
The trick was, don't start at the tip. Stand at the... So I stood at one of those other angles and I was looking down, looking at everything, and everything looked beautiful from up.
Oh my God.
That's the truth. But then I felt like jumping at the time. But I said, don't jump. Enjoy the view. Enjoy the view. And because of our friends there and all that, it made me relax. Now, that is one thing about your fears. The best thing is sometimes you need to go with someone. Run to it. Because sometimes we go alone. Let someone walk you through that journey. Though sometimes you have to go alone. That is just the harsh truth. Like my friend said, just jump into that river and see how it goes. But then, honestly, the person that came down from that mountain was different from the person that went up. That's just the harsh truth. So sometimes if you see people, you don't know the journey they've had during that sound or slight period. So the person that went is not the same person that came. Mentally, especially, they are in a new place. So this weekend, this last week, you don't know what I went through. So mentally, I'm in a new place. Exactly. But that's just an encouragement to someone out there that every time, mentally, you should be in a new place. Understand? At least. And life begins outside your comfort zone. And I know that fear will come. Run to that fear. It's very important. If you don't run to that fear, how will David be able to tell the story of how he killed Goliath?
You should be this weekend, you got deep.
You should be paying me. I went deep. You see? All right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, it's still Daybreak Africa. And yes, today we are looking strictly into a topic that last week began to trend. And when I mean trending, it's not a decision or an opinion of Nigerians. It happens to be the opinion of the United States Embassy in Nigeria, talking about Nigeria's financial woes. And this time around, the United States Embassy came up with a problem which they decried, talking about the lack of financial responsibility or fiscal responsibility by Nigerian governors, looking at the fact that many of them went as far as possible to ensure that they spent huge amount of monies to renovate their government houses in a time when the country was going through, is still going through actually, a lot of financial issues, economic issues at this particular time. And they made an assertion in their statement. They talked about the fact that despite the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been doing all possible to ensure that Nigeria, enjoys a bit of financial breakthrough in this particular time, talking about economic breakthroughs, making policies, taking sacrifices. It seems the governors are not in line with those ideologies by the president. Instead, the governors has gone ahead to spend lavishly in a time when there is no money at hand to spend. And they cited some examples. They cited the example of Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State, talking about the 63 billion allocated to renovate the government house. They cited Gombe State's governor in the person of Enoa Yahaya, who is allocating over 14 billion to renovate the government house and another 14 billion to renovate the House of Assembly. And in doing this move, Gombe happens to be one of the poorest states in Nigeria at this particular time, and the governor is spending this amount of money to renovate the government house and the House of Assembly. So it's looking as if the governors are having a bit of responsibility, fiscal irresponsibility, and it's causing inequality in Nigeria, lack of equity, and gradually it's causing more harm to our economy and our social status more than we can actually expect. That is according to the statement of the United States Embassy. They posted a link of the reports on their X page recently, this past week. But then we'll be looking at this holistically at this particular time and discussing with us. He will be joining us from Lagos online. He happens to be a political enthusiast, a political analyst, someone who gradually is working his way into the political space and also in the media space, in the person of Promise Oyelaran. Welcome to the show, Promise.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Joshua. Thank you for having me, Miracle.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's nice having you, Promise, and we really appreciate the fact that you could take time off your busy schedule to discuss this with us. But then let's go straight to the discussion. We saw the reports of the United States Embassy in Nigeria talking about fiscal irresponsibility of governors at this particular time when Nigeria is experiencing lots of challenges economically. Now, what's your take on the fact that it had to be the U.S. Embassy speaking this harsh truths at this particular time?
My take is simple. It's just about grammars and big English. What fiscal irresponsibility is the same as lack of, is the same thing as lack of accountability. And it is simple. All these reports or all these stats that has been given by the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria shows that the figures are there. We're all seeing all these things, and it just shows the height of decay that we have in our the governance, in the state of our governance as a nation, Nigeria. Looking at everything from the place of hardship to the place of mismanagement to the place of a lot of ills that we can talk about, and it's saddening, and it's actually a thing of pain that governors at this point, even some ones that you see that are being celebrated as governors of the year in quotes, could do that length of, okay, the priority right now is to have a new government house. And he said something like, the house is not befitting for government, but the street is befitting for the homeless states. That's the height of irresponsibility. So my take is, it's really, really bad, and I hope we can have a shift in ideology in this country.
All right, when you hear about the old US embassy thing, how did you feel? And don't you feel like the US coming to the public, like an open space, like X in particular, to mention that kind of thing about Nigeria? Don't you think it's like they're overstepping their boundaries, or you just feel like it's a normal thing?
You see, one thing I say is everything that's happening in this country, some persons have more knowledge than even we that are the citizens of the country. I remember back, as far back as the 2000, I can't remember particularly, when BBC published a news and said that a Boko Haram sponsor is about to become the leading party chairman of KAFTAN.
Wow.
I was expecting the party then, the person that this news was targeted against, if it wasn't a true story, should have filed for defamation of character. But it went like that. I still have that page of that newspaper report in my cupboard till tomorrow.
Wow.
Because I felt like these people publish things, and the parties involved don't care about it because they know it is true. And I don't feel anyhow they are not overstepping. It is just the facts. They are stating the obvious. It's the lack of fiscal irresponsibility that will make someone that the state is rated as one of the poorest states in the country to spend over 30 billion naira in renovating government house and house of assembly complex, neglecting the masses, the poor masses. Infrastructures are appalling. No quality education, no quality healthcare services, no road networks, food insecurity, and everything. There's even insecurity in that region, for example. And the governor, the only thing that's on their forefront, or the only thing they are thinking of, is building an ultra-modern new residence, and building a new house of assembly complex. So, anybody that is feeling that the US is overstepping, yes, they might be overstepping, but it is the obvious truth. It's the facts. The country, the citizens are in hardship, and this is why I've always said, most times we are always calling out the federal government of Nigeria, like the president is not doing this. And we've forgotten that because of separation of power, that's why we have tiers of government and we have arms of government, and everybody is supposed to function in their space. In the tiers of government, we have the presidency, we have state government, we have the federal, state, and local government. What is the local government doing? What is the state government doing? What is the federal government doing? The way Nigeria is wired, everything is supposed to be working. This system of government is to ease the burden on the central. State governor, what are you doing to ease the burden of hardship on your citizens in your state? Local government chairman, what are you doing in your local government area? But at the long run, it just shows that everybody that is in the seat of power lacks the simple trait of empathy. Because if you have empathy, you would know that there are 1,000,001 persons that are on the streets, that are homeless, or you care to build. This amount will build houses that would take over 100 million persons.
100 million persons.
100,000 persons rather. That they are not asking for too much. Just somewhere they can lay their heads and even pay the barest minimum. Just even in rent. It could be a subsidized housing scheme. But the governor can come out and say that the house that they are living is an embarrassment and an unbefitting facility. That is in the statement of Governor Makinde of Oyo State.
So you are supporting the fact that such amount of money, like 63 million,
63 billion.
Billion, not even million now. should be diverted into our educational sector, our security sector,
Housing
and many
sector.
more.
You see, the issue is a lot of things that we face in this country is because we don't set the right priority.
Lack of proper priorities.
Proper priority. And that is, I think, when the economist rather says that should have a scale of preference, they know what they are saying exactly.
Yeah, and that is even basic economics. Basic economics.
Yes, it's basic economics. Economics is a compulsory course for almost every secondary school student, senior secondary school student, even to your final year in school.
Yeah.
And all these things, you have your scale of preference, your opportunity for gun and wants, needs. What are the pressing needs as the country? The pressing need is not building a government house. The pressing need is not renovating a government house. Let us forget, Oyo State is not building a new government house. They are renovating the government house for 63 billion. Okay.
Just renovation, 63 billion.
Building a new ultra-modern residence for 14 billion. Can you see? You are renovating for 63 billion. Oh. Let it make sense.
One even bought 23 SUVs for the judiciary in the state. That's Adamawa governor. That was last week. The person of Fintri, Governor Fintri, 23 SUVs, spent billions of naira, and all those kind of things.
We have poor people in the community
that are not getting that amount of money.
They don't even need such amount. They just need something to do with their life, just little. Oh my God.
Like I said, it's not like renovation a seat of power is bad. But when you even look at the amounts being put for all these projects, it's absurd. Absurd.
But promise, I want to ask a question actually.
Even in the most expensive areas, how much is a real estate is all these houses worth? That you will use 63 billion naira to renovate the government house, whereby it's just the governor, deputy governor, and some principal officers that stays in this government house. They are not up to 1,000 that reside. Like, it's not up to 1,000 different families that reside in the government house. So how, let it make sense. You're renovating a house for 16.4 billion. In your state, we have people that are unemployed. We have people that are homeless. The road network are not good.
In multiple places.
We can come out and claim that it is an embarrassment and an unbeneficent facility, but you cannot pass a vote of no confidence on hardship.
What about people that live under the bridge?
Exactly. You see, this country, I still say it, and this is why you see, one thing I've come to understand about this country is, let's take it or leave it. The people in power are a reflection of those that are not in power.
No, wait, let me go deeper a bit on this. How do you mean? A reflection of those that are not in power?
Leadership is like a pyramid, and when you go study the pyramid, the composition of the pyramid extensively,
okay,
you will see that from the base to the top, it is the same material. And always saying the government is this, let us also not forget that even it is because the questions that are supposed to be asked, the things that we need to do as citizens, are we doing it? Are coming again in 2027 to sell us the same story.
As usual.
As usual. Someone will come. I walk down shoes. I sell the empathetic story. But when they get into a position of authority, the empathy is lost. They don't even care about anything. And you see, I think we as a citizen, we as Nigerians rather, entirely we need to have a shift in ideology and be able to understand that some of these things are not normal. We've got to understand some things as being normal, and we've learned and we continue to live our life as it's like it's normal. And that's why you see us praying, God, please give me money. God, give me a job. God, give me this. We've turned God to, we've turned religion to the things that can be the only thing that can solve our problems.
Our problems, yeah.
That's why you see people, when they are supposed to go for economic activities, even on a Monday morning,
They will be in
them
church.
to religious bodies.
And they'll be praying and
They will be at the mountain.
At the mountain.
Exactly, wasting productive hours.
Oh, God.
And let's ask ourselves again, is it that we've not had people that came from penury to become leaders? Did they do anything different?
At all. They didn't.
Just follow the law of
It's
life.
just a sad reality.
But then I want to ask this, Promise, because I watched when Nyesom Wike, who happens to be the minister of the FCT, when they were renovating the IBB center and all that, spent over 300 billion naira on renovating. Was it 300 billion or 30 something billion naira actually renovating that? I think that figure, I mixed it up a bit there. And a lot of people came up on social media saying the federal government are wasteful. Last week, the federal government even talked about renovating Terminal 1 of the Muritala Mohammed Airport. And when the federal government talked about it, they talked about 712 billion naira to renovate that at this particular time. And many people came on social media, they shouted, almost tore the federal government apart and all that. They are still tearing them apart even till today. Especially with what Nyesom Wike did with the IBB Center, that's International Conference Center actually, ICC actually in Abuja and all that. And I saw many Nigerians come out to talk about this. But when Seyi Makinde talked about the Oyo State House, the silence that followed it on social media was alarming. Because I was like, okay, good. If what is good for the goose should also be good for the ganga, and we should just learn to, castigate where necessary. If we are shouting at this person, we should shout at that person too as well. Nobody made any noise. The noise was so low and reduced. And someone was saying something that the way it is in Nigeria, we sometimes we are selective in our criticism. Now, what's your take on this particular statement they made? Especially this kind of democracy we practice where we are selective in our criticisms.
So, you see, it's part of the problem when I said that the reflection of those of the people in leadership and the people at the lower echelon of power it is what it is. It is said that whoever is going to come to the place of equity
must come with clean hands.
must come with a clean hand. You don't selectively castigate. You don't put one. You don't throw one under the bus and leave the other one floating. And that is why I tell most people, most of the criticism that we have in this country are not balanced, they are biased, and they are based on interest.
Based on interest.
And when you look at all these things, even to the federal government, let's tell ourselves the truth. Most of the projects that they embark on are projects of interest. And that's why I still say, what happens to the most pressing needs in this country? There's no money. You need to cut down on this. Do we understand that in Nigerian budgeting structure, recurrent expenditure supersedes capital expenditure?
Very true.
And what is recurrent expenditure? Running of government. Imagine you are telling me that you are spending more money to serve your people than to provide amenities for your people.
What kind of service?
Let it make sense.
Oh, good.
Paying salaries.
Paying jumbo salaries and allowances. You see, the point is, why a lot of persons will struggle and fight tooth and nail to get to some positions is because it is lucrative. A lot of persons know that their easiest way out of poverty is to get involved in politics. And that is why we not have people with selfless and people-oriented people get into position.
A lot of interest. Politics of interest is what we term it.
It's politics of interest. And I just laugh. A lot of people say, I laugh at it when people start saying, I support this candidate, I support this party is trash, this one is nonsense, this one is this one is that. And the emotions start flying around. I don't like it when you say this. Because of this one, you cannot be my friend again. You are supporting this person. I'm supporting this person. And I'll be like, oh God.
They blocked us during the 2023 election. We are blocked.
These people are playing the divisive politics. Divide and rule, rather. Is a law of power. Weaponizing poverty. Weaponizing ethnicity divide. Weaponizing religion divide. And we still don't see these cards over and over again.
Very sad, actually.
Very
in a time like this. And it's sad that
then election will come. Instead don't let me say election, the electioneering period will come. Instead of us tackling the salient issue, we start attacking, okay, this one is this one is this. This is a bigot, this is you, this is this one is a terrorist, this one is this one is that, this one is a this one is that. Leaving that the present issue in this country is that we are going through times.
And everyone is going through it.
Honestly.
I don't even know, the word bigot especially has become the trending word. It should be a trending word on the XApp in the actual sense in Nigeria, because everybody calls everyone a bigot.
If anybody does not have an opinion that suits your narrative, the person is a bigot. That is the trend. And we're forgetting that in life, the first thing is everybody is opinionated. And because you have your opinion does not make it the alpha and omega of opinion. The moment we understand that we need to respect everybody's opinion, regardless of how it affects us, the better for us as a country. Because I don't support your candidate, cancel me. You drag me. Then you get support from people that you think supports your candidate. And I used to say, you see, one thing we don't understand is you don't bring people to the place of change with hatred. You cannot tell me, me as a person, you can't tell me that you want me to shift the culture or something I believe in, and you're now fighting me or you're abusing me because of what I believe in. Because I'll be like, why? But imagine you can come to me with a place of love. Oh, I respect your opinion and I understand that, your opinions are valid. But can't you see in this way?
At least that's more convincing.
Look at these issues. Like, let's juxtapose issues as intellects. As concerned citizens.
Civilized people.
Juxtaposing issues based on, it's because you're a Yoruba, it's because you're an Igbo man, it's because you are from Hausa, that's why you're supporting this person. It's because you're from the north, it's because you're from the east, it's because you're a Muslim, it's because you're a Christian. when I hear all these things, and these are the borderlines of what we discussed in the midst of all these crises, in the midst of all these physical irresponsibilities from our so-called leaders, I weep. It pains my heart because when we look at it, the problem of most of an average Nigeria is the presidency,
which is not supposed to be.
Which is not supposed to be. You're saying it now. The buzz around 63 billion to renovate a government house in Oyo State. No one is talking about it. No one is concerned about it.
Mm.
For the presidency that is far away in Abuja is the concern of even the people that are supposed to be concerned about their own constituency first.
The state government,
Your
the
state
local government.
Your local government, which is more important to you.
Exactly.
Your House of Rep, your House of Assembly member, your senators.
You don't understand.
But promise, before we'll go deeper into this. Let's just take a break quickly.
Most times, a lot of people think that this guy is just blabbing. Legislators are not meant to decide in Abuja. They are only to attend plenary sessions and go back to their constituents.
Which is supposed to be the norm.
This is what we have discussed. This is what get updates on what the challenges of the. See, they are representing you in federal government so that the government can know what exactly
you need and you want. Well, promise. Let's get to that after the break, actually, because I know that this one is a bit very valid. But let's get to that after the break. Let's take Go Start. After Go Start, we'll come back straight to this discussion, and then we'll continue from there gradually on Daybreak Africa. So please enjoy Go Start for now. After Go Start, we'll continue with our discussion. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed Go Start. It's time to return straight to our discussions on Daybreak Africa. But yes, before we get into our discussion again, please, I advise you, take advantage of what you learn on Go Start. Do something with it. It's very important in this particular time, especially in the business world in Nigeria as we speak. But then before I went on the short break, we have been discussing on Nigeria's financial woes and the fact that the United States Embassy decries financial irresponsibility on the part of Nigerian governors, especially in a time when Nigeria is experiencing a lot of difficulties and challenges in the economic space. And they looked at the fact that with the way governors are spending at this particular time, it's going to cost a lot based on our equality, based on our social status and our stand as a nation, because it seems insensitive for state governors at this particular time to spend on this. And as we've been discussing with Promise Oyelaran, who joined us from Lagos Online, and he has been giving us some views on this particular discussion, sharing some opinions and some nuggets. So, Promise, you said something before we went on a short break, which I think, though is a bit of a digression, but I think it's very important we also look at that view. You said something which many Nigerians might not really agree with, that senators or maybe members House of Representatives are not even supposed to be living in Abuja. They are just supposed to be there for plenary sessions and then back to their constituents. Can you enlighten us more on this particular assertion of yours?
Okay, so what I'm trying to drive at is when we look at the composition or the duty of representatives, of legislators rather, it is simple. Legislators are representative of an interest area. And they are supposed to go represent an interest in a central seat. So when I said that the governors, the senators and the House of Rep are not supposed to be sitting in Abuja, it's just the fact. They are supposed to go represent these people, come back to their. Have you been to some constituency office and you will see that they are not functioning. But you see them driving the street of Abuja in luxurious cars, in convoys and all the likes. Whereas their constituents are not really feeling their impact. These are the things that I feel, these are the shift of ideology that we need to start having in citizens of Nigeria. You see, I was forced to go look at what the revenue of Oyo State is, the federal allocation from the government in Oyo State, and I want to see it in proportion to the percentage of the renovation of the government house. It is estimated that Oyo State received 201.27 billion naira in allocation
per year.
Yes.
Annually.
Per year, annually. And you are taking 63 billion
of that amount.
Oh my God.
Please tell me, what height of gross irresponsibility can that be? What are the legislators in that state?
I want to even ask, promise, because I think, okay, I know you have roots in accounting to a very large extent, and let me ask this, because it's one question that many Nigerians would like to know about. Talking about renovations, spending, and co. Because when the ICC issue happened, we discovered that in the 90s, when it was actually built, that is the ICC Center in Abuja, they spent close to 240 million naira or thereabouts to build it.
Okay.
When we are renovating it in 2025, we are spending billions of naira to renovate, which is not to rebuild, to actually renovate. The same with the Oyo State House. When it was built, they didn't even spend up to 1 billion naira. To renovate, we are looking at 63 billion. Now, don't you think the funds used in this renovation, because we believe renovation is just a repair, readjustment, don't you think the money itself is something that maybe FCC or thereabouts should check?
Should be
and
questioned.
In asking that, or let me ask this first before I go into my next question. But let me just have your view on it. Don't you think the funds itself are exaggerated totally and insincere?
So in accounting, when you're undergoing a project, there's something they call due diligence. And what's due diligence? So anybody can quote anything for a project. But for you to execute that project, or for you to go ahead as an accountant to approve that money for that project should be paid, you have to do your due diligence. So this thing actually represents the true market value of what you're doing. You see this thing, yes, the value of money over time might have changed.
True.
From the 90s to where we find ourselves, to inflation and a whole lot of factors also. But don't let us forget that no matter what the value is, there's a room for forecast. You can always apportion it and look at what's the percentage of the inflation between this period and this period. If I built a house in the 90s for 40 million, what's the percentage? What is the value of 40 million right now in this current climate? Do your calculations, put it out. You can't tell me that you want to renovate a house higher than the amount that you're building it. You want it to have modern facilities, fine. Cost of also maybe relocating the officials from the house till the renovation is done might be there also, might have been factored into it. But still, and that's, you see, when we come to projects in Nigeria and the quotes that you get, you'll be like, what's going on?
Sharing with the money spent.
And the funniest thing is when you now look at the project that has been done and what has been delivered compared to the money spent on it, you'll be like, hey, how is this value for money? It's hard to relate. And we just let it slide like that. And that's why I keep saying it. Government, a true functional government, there must be check and balance.
True.
Exactly.
Do we have check and balances in this country? No. All we have is party.
I was about going to that question actually. And
Before you even go there, I would like to clarify something because some governors are of the opinion that this renovation of a thing that they are doing, it's bringing about progress. They see it as a means of like progress and drawing attention. What's your take on that? Do you think that is a genuine reason for them to spend so much amount of money on just renovation, seeing it as a progress to their community or to their state? What's your take on that?
Let me ask a question back. Sorry for answering your question with another question.
It's a Nigerian nature, don't worry, we understand.
What is the percentage of the person that will benefit from the renovation
Exactly.
of the government
Exactly.
house?
Are we all living in the government house?
Exactly. So what's the progress on the economy? Funny enough, most of these things you don't use local contractors.
There is foreign contractors.
Exactly.
So how does it ripple back into your economy? You know, sometimes we just don't understand. It's simple. It's simple. The major source of income for government is what? Taxation. Maybe because we sell crude oil in this country. That's our major source. But still, when we look at it, imagine whereby we can reduce the percentage of unemployment in this country. Do you know it even means that we are making more revenue indirectly or directly? Because it means there is increase in the number of taxpayers. You see, governance or this economy that we're talking about is like a vicious circle. That is, it goes around. It flows like a circle. It goes round and round. Government creates job or employment opportunity. They are employed. The workers are working. They get paid. At the long run, they make deductions, statutory deductions with the taxation. The taxation is flowing back into the economy. The amenities are provided. They keep growing the economy. Do you know why most of our economic, do you know the major reason for why our economy is retarded is because most of the money that are mismanaged don't stay in our economy.
They go out of the country.
They go out of the country.
Yeah, they have to clean the money, money laundering patterns and all that. So they have to go out.
So imagine that all these managed funds are still plunged back even into the economy.
It would have made complete sense. Complete sense and made it more beautiful.
It baffles me that Nigerians still, with all the gross mismanagement, can still boast of some of these amounts that we talk about, even though we know it's in debt. It's in debt. We have every debt on our neck as a nation. And still, we've chosen to still be irresponsible. Our leaders have chosen to be irresponsible, even managing debts that they've incurred.
But then let me ask this, promise, because I was looking at some things. I was watching a podcast last week, and one of the speakers on that podcast was saying that Nigerian governors, we need to remove immunity from Nigerian governors, senators, and many of the politicians we have in this country. Like, remove the whole immunity of the thing. And EFCC, that was, I think, 2 weeks ago, Odunayo was talking about the fact that there are many governors right now, like serving governors right now, over 18 on their watch, and they are just waiting for the day they are going to be done with their tenures before they go get them, and all those kind of things. Looking at some of the financial stuffs that they have been going through. And you talked about the place of checks and balance. I remember that late President Muhammadu Buhari of blessed memory, in his tenure at the executive order 10, that needed a financially independent state legislature and state judiciary so that state governors will have checks and balances, proper ones. And there was also a conversation as at that time that immunity should be removed from governors, and maybe immunity, even this tenure too, there was that kind of conversation in the National Assembly, that maybe only the president and the vice president should have immunities across all borders in Nigeria. Don't you think it's high time immunity should be removed from state governors, and maybe we should have a system where proper checks and balances can be given in the state level, at the state level, so that a governor will not walk in tomorrow to the National Assembly, to the State Assembly, and say, okay, I want to renovate this place with 10 billion, and everybody will say, right on, and all those kinds, because it seems we are having rubber stamp state legislatures as we speak, who anything the governor says, we all agree, and it's sad.
So, you see, one thing I want us to know is immunity or no immunity. If the system still remains the way it is, a lot of persons will still get away with crimes that they've committed. So this is it. Like you said, when there was a push under the late President Muhammadu Buhari for a financially independent state legislation and a financially independent judiciary, it will make a lot of sense. You see, the problem of Nigeria is just system. It's systemic. Our systems are not working. And it's simple. If the systems are working perfectly, things will work also. I was talking to someone that you see on the road, for example, a law enforcement agent, a law enforcement officer stops or a defaulter, and because the defaulter is not stopping, you start hitting the car and all the likes. It doesn't happen in a sane country like that. Once you default, even though you don't wait, all they need to do is capture your details. And once your details is being captured, you get your fine accordingly. No argument about it. And if you feel like you are not okay with whatever fine, you go to they charge you to court even for overspeeding. Even for drunk driving, they will charge you to court and you hear your case. There are people that would even be able to win the cases against them. But when you look at the system, it's the funniest thing. Nigerians goes to this client and they abide by the system. The rules. I was saying something the other time that whoever is going to come to the place of equity must come with a clean hand. So imagine, a lot of Nigerians, we talk about our rights as citizens of the country. What about our obligations as citizens?
Rights and obligations.
Check and balance we are talking about. As you have rights, that's how you have obligations. And your duties also as citizens. We carry them out judiciously, the way we cry out that our rights are not again fulfilled. I will still say it. Whoever will come to the place of equity must come with a clean hand. In as much as we are looking at the way our rights are being trampled upon, we should also look at the way we are trampling upon our obligations as citizens. We need a shift of ideology as Nigerians.
All right, I'm not actually against the fact that they are giving governments money to renovate their buildings. I'm not against that. But I feel like the line should be drawn. There are some things that are actually not really necessary. They are not necessary. So from your own perspective, where do you think that the line should be drawn from the necessary things and the things that are not just really, really, really relevant? What's your own perspective? Where should the line be drawn? At least from year to year, we are not going to be giving you money for this, but for this, we are going to be giving you money for this, and we are going to go through thorough investigation before this money can be disbursed. What's your own perspective on that?
Where the line should be drawn is at the place of budgeting. Because when you look at most of these projects, they are not even sitting in the budget.
You will find them there.
You won't find them there. So, and you hear some things when some people start clamoring for some things as citizens, you will hear some things like it's not in the budget. So how did you, or how were you able to create or get funds for something of your own that is not sitting in your budget? You just wake up one day and you say like, oh, the government house is embarrassing, in quotes. And you be like, let's go and raise 3 billion to renovate it so that we can remove the embarrassment. Where the eyesores are there on the streets, dilapidated roads, economic menace, social insecurity, job insecurity at the minimum wage is so appalling, and average Nigeria lives below $1
per day.
You see, I think Nigerians now, we need to start paying attention to when budgets are being read.
Many Nigerians won't.
We don't actually
Many
care.
Nigerians
About
won't.
it. We just want to see magic happen. And those are the, see, if we're going to get things done in this country, we must be involved from governance from the start to the finish. A lot of persons will fold their hands. It's not my business, whoever becomes president, whoever becomes governor. You see, something happened in the last election and I was just laughing. Because, okay, yes, you don't want this starting political party in power. And you believe this other political party is better in presidency. But because you believe that the other party's presidential candidates is not good, when you now went ahead to vote for every candidate is under that party, not even checking the background of whoever is contesting.
It's the usual way. It happens during elections when Nigerians do that. Once I vote for this person, I vote his party to the end.
We don't vote for personality. We don't vote for personality. We don't verify whoever. See, and you see, imagine we just, as Nigeria, pretend to not even bother who becomes our president, but we bother on who is going to represent us in the National Assembly. And we see to it that all the persons that are going to the National Assembly are not people that are getting there because of political favors. It's in this country that you see that someone is contesting presidency and collected nomination form for presidential nomination form, but because he wouldn't win, he had already had the backup plan to become senator.
And he did it in the most miraculous way possible. I've never seen such a miracle before in the actual sense. Even the legal senator that was supposed to be there, he went to the court, the Supreme Court, and got the ticket, got in such a very funny way.
So tell me, how do we work in such a dilapidated system? Last election, it is stipulated that, I can't remember exactly, is it 2 months before the primaries? I can't remember this, that you must have resigned. If you're changing a party, you must have resigned 2 months before the primaries. I can't remember the exact time duration. But you see people, you lost primaries in a party today. The next day, because the other party has not done primaries, you are jumping ship already to to go and contest for that, or to go and win primaries in that same party that you're not in their register as member in INEC's election. I don't see any irregularity in it. If the system, if this country is going to work, everything that makes up the system must be followed with due process.
Due process.
Without bumping anyone.
Well,
And average Nigeria are so comfortable with the dilapidated system because they can easily get things their way if they know who is who, or they can rub hands with who.
try the place of rubbing hands.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Well, Promise, thanks so much. I wish we could take more on this topic actually and discuss further, but I'm already receiving alerts from the power room telling me that it's time. It's time to call it a day on our discussion today. If we keep on discussing, we go round and round. I really wish that a lot can be done about many of these issues. And for the United States Embassy to say this statement, it shows that many of the bodies within the country, international bodies within Nigeria, are taking note. And governors must also understand the fact that if these bodies are taking note of what is actually happening, then definitely we should not be expecting foreign investors in a long time, because they won't just look at the activities of the presidency, they will look at the activities of the governors as well. Well, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad, but thank you so much, Promise.
Keep talking and talking, we would not exhaust.
I won't
Yeah.
exhaust
the
it.
issues. Yeah.
Thank you
And
so
that's why
very
I've always
much.
said that we need to move away from talking to action.
An
Show
action.
what-
Action
Working.
plans, take decisions that will change the sphere and the shape of whatever the political structure in this country is.
Thank you.
And not just Gen Z or
Well, there is one Gen Z body actually here, so, but let's leave that aside. Let's leave that aside. Promise, thanks so much for being a part of
you
this.
so
Really
very
appreciate
much.
you, and we hope
It's a
that
pleasure.
as time goes by, we'll get to discuss more on very vital matters within the country. But then it's time to take sports, and after sports, we come back on Daybreak Africa. We say our goodbyes and share our conclusions. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back from that break. That was sport, and I hope you guys enjoy sports as much as Joshua did.
Yeah, Joshua is always doing. One day, try and you see. When I started this program, I talked about trying something new. It takes you to another.
So you think I
place.
should try sport?
Try sports? Try. Maybe you should watch ball for like. Okay, now the season is about to start, and then in a week from now, the league season is starting. Just try as much as possible. See it. Watch football. If you don't even like football, you should like basketball. The Tigers are doing one or two things recently.
Anything sports, right from primary school, I don't partake.
That-
Even match pass. That's the
Even match
worst.
pass.
I
Oh,
don't.
Jesus Christ.
I don't.
Don't worry. But try it. Try something new. For someone like me, I used to hate economics. I hated economics all through my life. And but a time came when I had to be a guest on Alex show. And I was like, guy, go and study. And I went to read. I read all night. And when I was reading all night, I decided to read with a bit of logic. And I discovered that the only problem I had was I hated my economics teacher. But economics was very simple. In fact, it gave me more understanding of social sciences. So sometimes it might not be as bad as you think. That's
Okay.
just it. It will not be as bad as you think.
Thank you.
Try something new.
Thank
It's something
you.
very important. Try something new and all that. It helps. It helps. You know, it helps. But then the discussion with our promise and Nigerian government and all those kind of things, especially the state governors, I think it's just sad we are in this situation right now. And the sad thing there is the fact that many of these people, you are closer to the people. You see more of the pains they are passing through. And rather than feel if the federal government doesn't even feel the pain of the people, the state governors who are closer to the people should feel their pain the more. And know what to do at particular times to help them. But some of these state governors are some of the biggest critics of the federal government. But in their states, people don't actually feel what they are doing. Look at that of Gombe. Recently, I was saying Don Azza. Don Azza is a TikTok sensation. He is also on the X app. And he was talking about this issue of fiscal irresponsibility by state governors. He began to talk about the debts, like expenditure, earnings, like he was comparing expenditure and earnings of states, as well as their debt profile. There are some states that they are spending ×3 of what they are actually earning.
I think Promst actually mentioned that.
And you know, the harsh truth is that at the end of the day, a bulk of what they spend, or of what they spend on, is not even on projects. Sometimes it's just on things that has to do with bankrolling the government lifestyle. And they sometimes loan to spend on these things. Many of them don't even pay salaries. Exactly. They don't pay well. Yeah, they don't pay the minimum wage, and they get good money from the federal government. So it's now, if not because of,
feel like the president should do something about
no, me, I blame the president for one reason. When the money for that we are supposed to allocate for subsidies, when you stop paying subsidies, why pay governor ×3 or ×2 of what they are being paid before?
And they are not even doing
and
so much
now, the money they are collecting, the justification. That is why, if not because of that kind of money, some governors will not be thinking of renovations. Some will not be thinking of projects that don't last. There are some projects some governors of state are doing. Now, this is not me ailing the Lagos state government or the system of Lagos, but local government chairmen in Lagos are even doing way better than some governors in some
don't
states.
You feel like the president is paying them ×3 of what they're supposed to earn before is just a way of telling them that, okay, I've given you this money, go and do something in your state?
No.
You don't see it that way?
I don't see it that way.
Okay.
I feel the president is just being political. If he was being sincere with himself, I think he would have gone the Buhari route. Before I can give you this amount of money, ensure that your legislative are financially independent. Ensure that your judiciary are financially independent. So that when I'm giving you this money, they can question you. Ensure your local government, you don't have any involvement with them. It's only the local government the president was able to do. And even till now, it's still sabotaged by these governors. So that when they collect this money, there will be someone to shout at them and say, hey, that money you received, what did you spend on? I think some governors they should sit them down and ask them, okay, aside from the allocation you are receiving from the federal government, how are you internally generating revenues?
Money.
How are your people paying taxes? How are your people, what are you doing with their project money? Recently, a road was done in this same Ondo state. Before, if you are coming to the studio, if you go around the Jishin, the local government chairmen are saying that they did a road there. That road was very terrible, that roundabout. Extremely terrible. Now, they did that road. It's not up to 2 weeks. I'm saying potholes again. How? So, we need to go.
Are we going there?
No.
Are we going
and you see governors come now and they will say that they are inaugurating these roads. No. It's unfair.
Thank you.
It's
time to
unfair.
say goodbye.
Yeah, we'll say goodbye.
Africa.
We'll say goodbye. But
yes.
honestly, it is bad. It is sad. It is honestly sad.
Tosha, are we not going again?
We are going.
Thank you.
We are going. Well, till we meet tomorrow on Daybreak Africa again, I'll still bring you more nuggets and we'll still talk more. My name still remains Ikhonede Joshua.
And my name is Miracle Odunayo. Bye,
guys.
guys.